Okay, next we want to go ahead and figure out the total points for each student. Now I'm first going to do this by creating a formula that's properly referenced in Excel. One thing you want to think about when creating formulas especially is your order of precedence. So remember from an algebra class you had please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS, so it means parentheses go first, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead and create a formula here that's just going to add up the points. And in this case, I don't need to worry about PEMDAS because I'm just adding up 3 cells. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the equal sign because all formulas and functions in Excel have to start with an equal sign. So I'm going to say equal. I'm going to click on B3, or you could type it in. Notice it automatically goes in my cell. Then I'm going to put the plus sign in there. Then I'm going to click on C3, put the plus sign, and then click on D3. And when I do that, now I'm going to hit the check mark. And you can see in the cell it shows my 268, but because this cell is currently active, the formula bar shows the formula that I just typed in. So a very simple formula where we don't have to worry about order of precedence. If I want to replicate this formula for all the three other students, I just grab the bottom right corner of cell B3, which is my fill handle, and drag down to row 6. And you can see the results. Now if I go down to row 4, you can see all the references for Kelser, who's in row 4, his changed to row 4. If I go to Vincent, they changed to 5. If I go to Charles, they changed to 6. This is an example of a relative reference. A relative reference is a reference that changes when you copy a formula or a function. Next I want to go over here and figure out the average. And with the average, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use column E that we just calculated. I'm going to use these 3 cells over here to figure out the average. And again, I'm going to use a formula for right now. So we're going to start off with an equal sign again. And then I'm going to say B3 plus C3 plus D3. And then I'm going to divide by 3 and hit the check mark. Now watch what happens here. This time we get an average that's pretty crazy. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we never scored above 100 but we had an average of 200? We'd have a lot of happy students. So this is an example where we need to take care of order of precedence. So we need to put parentheses in front of the B3 and parentheses after the D3 so that this gets added up first and then divide by 3. So we'll hit the check mark. You can see there's an average of 83. Before I copy this down, I'm going to go to my number group, and over here on the right you have 2 buttons. This one increases the decimal and this one decreases the decimal. If I click on decrease, you can see it totally brings down the number of decimal places for me every time I hit this button. I'm going to grab my fill handle now and copy this down, and now you can see we have the average for each student and it has only 2 decimal places. Again, if I go down to row 4 and you look at your formula bar, you can see the 3's changed to a 4 because they're considered relative references. And relative references change when we copy down a formula or a function.